Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. Why did Drake just try to diss Kendrick Lamar, bro? And it backfired on him. We got fantastic hip hop breaking down the story, man. We about to react to. Before we get into that, y'all make sure y'all please pick up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, written by me, Big Kish. The link will be in the description. I appreciate y'all's support, man. Look, bro, it's not enough. You doing all this trolling. Grown man, still trolling. We be trying to leave you alone, bro. But you just gotta troll. Kendrick is going to perform in Toronto, whether you like it or not, and it's going to be a success. Let's get into this story, man. Y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Now, when it comes to Drake, well, if you are ready to see what is about to be the worst week ever in his career, in a sense, in terms of Drake just realizing how much he has really lost within this entire moment in time in hip-hop that is gonna go down in the books as the dot era, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, with that said, well, with the biggest loser in hip-hop, there's no other way to put it, but it's just a bad time to be lame old Lawbray, because at the end of this week, well, he can no longer run and hide away from the loss that he took to Kendrick Lamar that has been so bad that he has spent the last year of his career running away from Kendrick in every single way he possibly can. Because coming up, well, Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour is stopping within the place that Drake only ever thought would happen in his worst nightmares, as of course. Kendrick and SZA are bringing the biggest show.
I ain't gonna lie, this gonna be the nail in the coffin. This really gonna make him look bad. He knows it too.
In the music industry right now to the Rogers Center in Toronto, and now with this, well, of course, this all-time nightmare for Drake has become real, and while the show is happening and there is not a single thing he can do about it at this point, this does not mean Drake is not going to be as annoying as he possibly can and is going to try to take this moment away in any single way possible, as already Drake has started running off with a series of cringe takedowns that are all trying to do one thing, which is just to discredit Kendrick Lamar and take away what this moment is going to represent in any pathetic way he possibly can. And now, before we get into what Drake has done specifically and how it is showing how scared and lame he is getting even for his own standards, well, if you have not already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, really, as with the show Kendrick is coming up, for so many reasons, this is about to be the biggest show of the entire Grand National Tour and really of the year, aside from the Super Bowl, of course. Make sure to leave that like and subscribe so all of hip-hop understands what's going into this moment. And now, with that said, when it comes to Drake, man, at this point, with how far gone this guy has gotten and how pathetic and ridiculous the stuff he is doing is, well, between being the softest rapper we have ever seen with the entire suit that he keeps pushing more and more and just making worse by the moment, and within that, recently we have truly seen how bad this has gotten with everything that happened with Pusha T and how Drake tried to hold back the new Clips album from releasing and having a Kendrick Lamar verse on it in the first place. And then on the other side of things, with Drake trying to cosplay as a tough guy rapper who is still trying to diss Kendrick Lamar in front of the fans and people to try and keep this act up that makes his fans think that he has some sort of control of his career. Well, with all of this, after keeping up with multiple costumes and personas that Drake has just been playing at this point, and it's getting as tiring as ever after what we saw last week, well, now making things even more confusing and even more baffling about how somebody is seriously doing this. Well, now Drake has seemingly thrown away that victim card, and now he is trying to convince us that he is a tough guy again who is still somehow trying to say anything to Kendrick Lamar to discredit him on any.
He want to still put himself in the battle. He want to be the runner-up. We don't look at you as Kendrick Lamar's equal anymore. Like, we don't look at you as the guy that could compete with him. I mean, we never did, but we knew he was going to smash you. But you want to still make it look like y'all beefing. You're not. He won. You need to disappear. Go do whatever you got to do. Let's say you was about to go stream or whatever. You need to do that, bro. Because you being naggy and like, hey, I'm still here and I'm messing with kid is making you look bad in the courtroom. Ain't you suing or something like that? That's making you look bad. And you doing this trolling and stuff online by liking people What did he do? He liked somebody Instagram or something like that that said that SZA and Kendrick are lowering the tickets. That's making you look bad, bro. You just need to go and disappear or something like that, man. This is nasty work.
Any single level, as most recently in the never-ending fall-off and cycle of embarrassment for Drake. Well, the guy is really in peak pathetic mode because, of course, as Drake is too scared to really diss Kendrick at this
peak pathetic mode. Wow.
Point on a song because he does not want to face the consequences of that. Well, what Drake has shown is that within this tough guy persona that he is still trying to put on for everybody, he will still shade Kendrick Lamar and call him out on social media and with good old posts. And now, as there was a post from one of the Drake pages that was saying that Kendrick Lamar and SZA were lowering their ticket prices for their upcoming Toronto shows, well, Drake used this moment to try and come at Kendrick and discredit this show at any single level before it even started. And what Drake did was about the loudest thing he will do in this era, where he is absolutely terrified of Kendrick Lamar, which was just like the post so everyone could see that Drake was seemingly backing up this statement and that he was trying to get a laugh at Kendrick Lamar for seemingly failing in his and his weird fans' eyes. And with this, there's really a lot to address here about what Drake did and the message he is trying to send to his fans and hip-hop as a whole for that matter. But if you actually look into how Kendrick Lamar and SZA's show has been doing and what it will end up solidifying in Drake's own city, well, first off, what Drake is trying to say is an absolute lie. But now, before we even check into reality and just break down how Drake is wrong for even trying to push this narrative,
man, Kendrick somewhere at the BET Awards collecting awards and all that. We about to get into that too. Stay tuned.
Across, and it's really laughable that he tried to say this. Well, we need to remember that when it comes to this table of artists who play at stadiums in hip-hop ever, which would only be Kendrick, Eminem, and Jay-Z, or artists in the industry right now on big stadium runs like Kendrick, Beyonce, or The Weeknd. Well, with this talent pool and these names as a whole, while these artists can sit at this elite table within the music industry and talk about what it means to command the biggest audiences and crowds possible on a night-to-night scale, Drake does not even have a seat at this table because he knows he is way too stale and lazy of a performer to ever hold the attention of an audience of this scale. And of course, that is why he has never done one of these things. And really, beyond Drake just never being able to perform at a stadium, when it comes to having issues with tours, Drake is also really one to talk, because if we remember, which again, when it comes to this idea of just looking at everything that's happened, this has really been the thing that has exposed Drake fans over and over again, because they just conveniently forget things when it doesn't fit their narratives or it goes against and discredits Drake and shows how he's really a fraud. Well, with Drake's mess and crash out of his Anita Max Win tour, he literally canceled it with an explanation that was showing that the only thing that could have made Drake pass up on finishing the shows he had on the way was its poor ticket numbers, which looked bad from what we could see. And so now, aside from Drake,
you can't troll nobody, bro. Look at your numbers, bro. And your joint ain't even no stadium tour. Your joint a regular old, you know what I'm saying? You cannot troll nobody, boy. What is you doing? You cancel your tour. You cancel your joint.
Drake just really being unable to even talk about this stuff seriously with the biggest artists in the world. And so now, with all of this, aside from Drake just really being unable to even talk about this stuff seriously with the biggest artists in the world because of his own failure, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour, well, if we get into the numbers, every single one of the shows on this thing, besides the Houston show, which filled up 93% of the stadium, has not just ended up filling up every single seat and having a sold-out crowd, but Kendrick Lamar has literally ended up having the highest grossing hip-hop shows ever, all the way to the point that when it comes to this entire tour as a collective musical experience, it is going to end up as one of the highest grossing hip-hop tours of all time, and really one of the biggest tours in the entire music industry when all things are said and done. And so now, within this, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's Toronto show, well, you can take a look for yourself when you look at the seating maps and also the ticket prices, which is what Drake was trying to clown Kendrick and act like was the big joke about this whole thing. Well, they are all in line with the rest of the tour, and they are projected to sell out back-to-back nights. And really, when we actually break things down, since the Rogers Center is a baseball stadium, because unlike most of the rest of the dates that the tour is stopped at, there are no football stadiums in Toronto. So the tickets are
oh, Toronto ain't got no football stadiums. Dang. I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Actually more in demand for this show because the venue is smaller than most cities, and this is why when you look at Kendrick Lamar and this upcoming Grand National event and then what Drake is trying to say to take him down, again, when you just give this a little bit of thought, It couldn't be more wrong, and really, this is why with Drake, he is just so embarrassing as a person for still trying to go at Kendrick Lamar, especially with angles like this, because no matter how you want to put it, when you actually put his comments up to the light and actually try to see what they stand for, he cements himself as being more and more clueless with every move he makes, because even with liking something like this and trying to push this narrative, well, with the entire Drake...
What is that number 8 for in his basketball court? I know he don't call himself representing Kobe. Bro, Kobe wouldn't have been on your side, bro.
Community. The claims they make about Kendrick Lamar are not based around any sort of a truth or an idea that is rooted in the same reality that we all understand, and instead of this, Drake is just using the same worn out and embarrassing academics TV narratives that are just based in absolutely nothing other than just sensationalism that is just trying to bring together the worst people who could ever be in the hip-hop community. And really with this is why these people just purposely present things within a way where it is absolutely wrong to try and take down Kendrick Lamar like we are seeing right here, and we especially see this lack of basic comprehension that only people who think that The Hard Part 6 was a good song could ever have, when they are literally posting tickets to try and get a sort of gotcha moment on Kendrick Lamar, when they are literally on the secondary ticket sites, which for any Drake fan who is watching this, how all of...
Hold on, it's a breakdown to this, y'all. It's a breakdown to this. Hold on, let me see. Score last minute tickets. Kendrick Lamar on tour selling fast. 60% off. Buys. Oh. See, he had to break it down for him. And then what you got to take into effect is that I said this already. He could afford to do this. He can afford this. If you sold out all your previous stadiums, these are stadiums sold out. We already reacted to how rare a stadium tour is. It's very rare. For a rapper to do, that's rare. Nobody's doing it. He could afford to drop. He could afford to all them stadiums selling out, all the millions of dollars. He could afford to do this.
Who is watching this, how all of these platforms that are trying to hype up the Grand National Tour on them work is by having people put up the tickets and then trying to flip the ones that they got directly from Kendrick Lamar and SZA's team when the tour was announced. And again, if you are making fun of Kendrick Lamar and SZA for this and are acting like it's their fault when in actuality, these platforms are solely around for secondary tickets, and it's literally how they are successful and stay running. I mean, really, if you were trying to use these things as disses, it's actually embarrassing the amount of comprehension that you are lacking. And so with all of this, as Drake is now trying to run with these narratives to take down this Toronto show, which are nowhere near the truth, and again, he is just hoping that somehow this is going to try and take the impact of what Kendrick Lamar is doing and make it seem like it's gonna be lame, or at the very least, just give his own fan base more material to run around with and try to spew around with the worst narratives possible when they are trying to do this same old sad coping that they have ever since Kendrick Lamar won the beef. I mean, no matter how we want to look at this, it's all just really baffling and confusing from Drake, and it's truly showing how scared he is of this thing. And so really with this, no matter what Drake is doing with all of this lying and how sad it looks as a whole, I got news for you, and again, if you're a Drake fan, you're not gonna like this. When Kendrick Lamar gets on that stage in the Rogers Center, none of these little games Drake is pulling are gonna matter, and he only can run so much at this point because
ain't none of these games gonna matter you doing. Ain't none of them. You ain't gonna be able to do no trolling. Your city. Then you got a nerve to put in your raps, I get more love in the city where you come from. Oh, really? We're about to see who get more love in the city where who come from. We're about to see it right now.
Kendrick Lamar is coming to Toronto, and the shows are happening no matter what, and they are going to be bad for him because when you even look at the Rogers Center itself and see how it looks in Toronto and how it has the skyline of the 6 behind it and so much iconography that...
Ain't that the SS Song for You album cover, that build? Ain't that the same building? Yo, you about to look bad, boy. No Diddy.
Drake has, of course, tied directly to him. The moments that are going to come out of this show are going to be the representation of what this beef has really meant and how it has changed everything for hip-hop as a whole. And really with this, well, Drake is really going to have to try, and a lot harder at that, to make people believe that these Kendrick shows are failing, because they are not. And matter of fact, they are doing the exact opposite of this, and they are going to embarrass him bad. And now, as everyone is going to see this on the highest level possible sooner than ever, for Drake in this show, which he still has days to crash out about. Well, based on what we have seen for other TDE artists when they have tried to come to the 6 and other Kendrick Lamar moments as a whole, I mean, we know Drake is going to be pulling more clown antics and trying to take away from this moment however he can, but the question is, with this never-ending crash out that Drake is having, how is he going to embarrass himself next, and therefore show that through his own set of moves, how truly scared he is to see Kendrick.
Hey, let me show you how real hip-hop is, man, and that Drake ain't hip-hop. When Joey Badass was going against Daylight and Rayvon, Daylight came out with a song commending Joey Badass for what he did. It was like, yo, you took us on by yourself. You did your thing, King. Like, yo, he made a whole song. That lets you know how real we are when it come down to this hip-hop joint, man. Not Aubrey. Not Aubrey. Instead of taking his loss, he want to sit up here and still like you still battling. You're not on Kendrick's level, bro. It's over. You had your chance to do what you did, and you failed, bro. Get a man his props and keep it moving. That would have been your best bet. But nah, nope. You had to go in the courtroom. You had to, like, bro, you pathetic for this, man.
Kendrick Lamar not just play another show, but play within a bigger venue than he ever has in his own city, and therefore not just further cement himself as the king of hip-hop right now, but also the king of the 6. And so now with all of this said, let me know, what do you think about Drake trolling and playing these little games again, and what do you think about Kendrick Lamar's upcoming shows at the Rogers Center, and what do you think is going to happen when all of this eventually goes down? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this and any predictions you have both for what Drake is going to do to try and take away this moment from Kendrick and how Kendrick is going to continue to just ascend in the rap game more than we have ever seen. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to see how right alongside Drake's crash,
y'all make sure y'all leave a like and subscribe. Look, man, he said Kendrick is about to be the king of the 6. Dang. Now, this is what you call embarrassing. This is very embarrassing for Drake. And I'm telling you, it's making you look worse. Every time you pop out and mention anything about Kendrick, alluding to Kendrick, failing in any type of way, which he's not, he's winning, you're making yourself look bad. Remember, Kendrick said it was in 616 in LA. He was like, it's just gonna resurface. Everything you say, you just making the beef resurface again. Not just the beef, the you losing part. It's just gonna resurface. You can't tussy slide your way up out of this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Big Cash signing out. I'm going, y'all.